So the incident actually occurred back in 2012. So this was about 6.5 years ago. And it was a normal night. I was living in Denver, Colorado at the time. I'd been living there for 5 years. And my friends and I would go out and we'd go hopping from bar to bar. It was just like any other Saturday night. As we were going from one bar to the next, I was punched in the back of the head. I then spun and hit the back of my head onto the concrete. And from what I'm told, my friends came up running. The guy took off, and they said that I was basically laying there like bleeding on the street. I don't remember any of this. I don't remember laying there. My friends tell me that I must have been there for 20, 30 minutes before an ambulance came. I don't remember being on the ambulance. I don't know how long it was between the time when I lost consciousness and then when I regained consciousness in the ER. But when I came to, my shirt was bloodied and ripped, and I was handcuffed to the gurney because I guess I was thrashing around. I don't know. So they held me for 36 hours after that because they were doing tests to figure out what was wrong. Obviously they knew that I had fractured my skull. They put staples in the back, fractured my jaw. I was so out of it that at one point during the night, I guess they had taken the handcuffs off because I had calmed down. I was so out of it that I pulled everything out of my arms and started to walk out of the hospital because I thought I was fine. So for 2 weeks after that incident, I was unable to really form sentences. I could speak to people and communicate, but for me to finish an entire sentence was very difficult. Even when I tried to type it out in an email or for a text message to my friends, it was terrible. I could not complete a sentence. It made no sense to me. It was like words were jumbled. I guess whenever my head struck and it jostled my head so much, it released some salts in my inner ear, which gave me vertigo. So I had serious vertigo for 3 months, where if I looked up, the room was spinning. So the kind of testing that they did whenever I was at the hospital, from what I understood, was just a CAT scan. So what they told me after the first test was that they saw on the front part of my left side of my head, they saw that there was bleeding, but that it wasn't anything serious enough to cause concern to where they needed to go in and do any kind of like invasive work. I remember I did ask on the way out, I said, should I get tested for this again? And they said, yeah, you should probably in a month or so go get tested. So for the next year, I was like super healthy. I didn't drink at all. I basically like shelled up and didn't do anything. So fast forward 6 years now after that happened, and you know what you guys are doing with your ability to test and see and at least get a baseline of how your brain activity is performing. Even though I felt like I was quote unquote normal, I don't know how much damage had been done. I don't know what may have been lost. So I had 2 uncles that have a history of Alzheimer's. A big reason why I was doing this was because of the concussion, but I mean it was both in part to a preventative thing as well. I'm very worried about my family's history. The fact that 2 of my uncles have had serious problems with it, and my father is having to, hopefully not, but potentially prepare for degradation of cognitive capacity. It's scary. Because with that on top of a serious brain injury, I want to do everything that I can now to try and help scathe off any future effects that might be coming my way, either through my own experience or hereditary. I'm trying to do everything I can right now. When I first started, I think what I felt immediately was almost like a rush. It was almost kind of like a rush of energy. Like I found like a new source of energy for those first few days. Like it was like something new, like something had been tapped inside my head. And to be quick and to be, with the group and, staying up with what everybody's talking about. Those are all things that I noticed I was kind of lacking in. My thoughts were able to come out a lot better. I was able to be more conversational. I was able to participate. I think I was just able to get to that word that I couldn't think of. Those couple of things, when you're in the middle of a sentence and you're trying to reach for that one thing or those couple of words that you just can't remember, like those just started to come easier. I was at a party and I was just on fire. Like the conversations that I was having, I was being playful and joking and all those things, and I hadn't felt like that in years. Like to feel that effortless and involved and having fun, and it was like like I'd left there feeling like my life was different because I had missed that. The incredible thing about what you guys are doing is now you can see it. And so after my baseline wobbies, what was crazy was that we could see there's like a heat map of the brain. It basically shows where the areas of the brain are active, most active, and where they aren't. Most active being red, yellow, and then not active being blue, purple, dead. Probably not dead, but very not active. So 2.5 weeks after my first test of showing no brain activity on the front end of my brain, all this heat, coming from the back, this is a supplement that you can take. It's very easy to take that can show results in a very quick manner. It only took me 2.5 weeks to see from a 6-year injury it move up and all of that area light up. It confirmed what I was feeling from working. It confirmed what I was feeling from a conversational standpoint, because it's one thing to feel a certain way. Hey, I feel good. I feel, I think that this thing's working, but to see it on an objective test like that, it just confirms that this stuff is working. I think what I would tell people who have suffered either a brain injury like mine or going through some neurodegenerative type of process right now, I would say that you've got options. I mean, what do you have to lose? If you can stop it now or slow it down or make it better, which is what I'm doing with mine, then why not?